So I did see Across the Spider-Verse, and before the cycle or the algorithm, whatever it is, before it moves beyond it, I just wanted to come on and say a few words about it. I did see it. I was I wasn't one of the first ones to see it, but I did enjoy it. And actually, I will divulge that I was very, very late seeing Into the Spider-Verse. So the very first Miles Morales movie. I heard about it years ago, pre-COVID, but I did not go to the theater to see that. So before I saw this one, I went to Amazon and downloaded it, a digital version of it, so I can actually watch it right now as much as I want. But when I finally saw it, I thought it was pretty good. I was concerned as a traditionalist that it was a way of getting rid of the original Peter Parker as we know him. But as I watched the movie, I saw that it wasn't that. I saw that it was just dealing with the whole multiverse concept. There were just multiple realities and there were multiple Spider-Mans. I could try to run all of them off right now, but I'm not going to try to do that. But that first movie was very entertaining, and it was very, very good. And Shamik Moore provided, and in the follow up, the sequel, he provided the voice for Miles Morales. For those of you who don't know Shamik Moore, well, I did watch Wu-Tang and American Saga, so Shamik Moore actually played Raekwon, who is a key member of the Wu-Tang Clan, and he was for the most part teamed up with Ghostface Killah. So I was surprised. Well, I was surprised, but not surprised to see him play that role. He does have a. If you watched Wu-Tang and American Saga, you would see that Shamik Moore has a soft voice, which could easily be used for a teen protagonist, in this case, Miles Morales. So I liked the first one, um, and that one, the way that ended, or one of the main threads for that first one, was that Miles developed an affinity for, or they developed an affinity for each other. Gwen Stacy from another Spider universe, who was the Ghost Spider. So that actually started off the second movie. There are spoilers here if you haven't seen it. But to make a long story short, this movie started off with a. This movie was very, very funny. The follow up, the sequel, Across the Spider Verse, and it basically involved. It started with a rivalry between Miles Morales' Spider-Man and the Spot. The Spot was a villain who you initially did not take seriously, and who initially seemed like a bit of a joke, and he seemed like he was there for comic relief. He had a compelling power slash condition where there were black holes on his body, and he could manipulate black holes and attempt to do things like steal ATM machines. But a major part of the plot was him wanting to prove himself against Miles Morales. So that involved him going back and using the device that Kingpin used in the first movie to create the anomalies that allowed for characters, the Spider-Men and the Spider-Women from the multiple Spider-Verses, to come together and know one another. So in this one, there was an interdimensional spider force, of which Gwen Stacy was recruited into, and their job was to go throughout the different multiverses and make sure that the different spider people, the different spider characters, did not disrupt their individual Spider verses, because that would have ramifications for every other Spider Verse. And that team was led by a vampire like Spider Hunter, uh, Miguel O'Hara. I think that was him. Well, they were led by a vampire like Spider character, and so at the heart of this movie, and I'll wrap this short review up. At the heart of the movie was once again the concept of dealing with time, and if you change events that are supposed to happen, what do you do to the overall timeline? Which which is something that's very fascinating to me. They kind of addressed this in The Flash, and the one of the this is one of the key themes that these writers are trying to convey to us, and that's that if you change something that's supposed to happen, or if you change something that's fated to happen, you are there are going to be ramifications for that. There are going to be large scale ramifications for changing something that should not be changed, whether that's two people meeting, whether that's someone dying, or something else. So in other words, leave things the way that they are. Now, I saw that the movie had a 2-hour runtime before I went in there to go see it, and I was literally watching and wondering when the climax was going to occur and how the whole thing was going to wrap up. So they actually did trick me. They did trick me. I was surprised with the to be continued ending, because how often do we see that nowadays? Usually most movies today, they wrap up and that's it. You're on to the next one. But this one there's going to be a part 3, which is going to be the continuation to this one. So we're going to see what Miles decides. We're going to see what happens to Miles's father, and we're going to see what's going to happen to the entire Spider-Verse. It was entertaining, and they did fool me on the back end. And going back, I think my favorite character is the Spot, the villain. He was funny, and he was very, very intriguing. So let's see what happens in the next one. So interestingly, I'm looking at the cast here. So Brian Tyree Henry, he played the uncle, Jeff Morales. Lauren Velez played the Hot. Now, the image is a cartoon, but whoever created the image of his mother, Rio Morales, they created a slim fit and voluptuous woman, very attractive. So she was voiced by Lauren Velez from New York Undercover. It looks like Issa Rae was in this too. She played Jessica Drew. So this is a bit of an all-star cast. Daniel Kaluuya played Hobby Brown, and Spot was voiced by Jason Schwartzman. And look, Amandla Stenberg, she played Margot Kess, or Spider Bite. Mahershala Ali, he played Uncle Aaron. So Jeff Morales, that's probably the father. That's the father. And Mahershala Ali, he played the uncle, who turned out to be one of the villains. So those are my impressions of across the Spider-Verse. So I'm going to wrap this up here. One of the things I was thinking about as I was watching this and the Morales family, I was thinking about the times we live in, and I was thinking about the Black and Brown coalition. And it was interesting to me that Miles, it's kind of ambiguous with his last name. He's Puerto Rican, and the mother is clearly Latina. The father could be your, I don't want to say standard African American father, but he could be your African American father from any neighborhood. But I thought it was interesting that they went for the black and brown coalition approach for Miles Morales and his family and his uncle. The men could be from any hood in the inner city, but clearly the family's heritage is Afro Latino or Puerto Rican. I thought that was interesting. That's just an observation. In any case, did you see Across the Spider Verse? What did you think about it? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. This is Big Discussions 76 Entertainment and Media. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar. Please like, share, and subscribe if you want to donate something to the channel. That information is below in the description box. And you can, well, no, I don't have a super thanks over here, so you can't leave a super thanks. But please consider joining the Big Words LLC Newsletter. In addition to being a YouTube content creator, I'm also a writer with 2 blogs and a book project on the way. So with that, everyone, as always, remember that with great power comes great responsibility. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude, and always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, I really dug the Indian Spider-Man as well, and the Indian Spider-Verse, the Indian Brooklyn. I thought that was hilarious as well. All right, I gotta run, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Bye-bye.